Hey everybody, Kat here. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. It's a snowy Wednesday morning, and Thomas Markle doesn't have a leg to stand on. I'll tell you all about it. That's right. I've done a couple of videos. I'm calling BS on this. It's another media manipulation. I've already done a couple videos directly relating to Thomas's health concerns. Most recently, the Mexico myth, and now this. Done another video. Look over here. Little while ago. Meghan Markle and the plot to take down the monarchy. Look at my videos about Marcus Anderson. This whole thing, I have talked about this one big game of Risk. What's really going on? It's time to start paying attention because the monarchy's under attack. That's right, this whole story about Thomas Markle losing a leg, even that, how the story came about, we've gone over this. Fake heart attacks, fake stroke, Samantha Markle phoning the newspaper. What was this, a couple of months ago, that earthquake? My dad's trapped on the earthquake on the 19th floor, whatever. Turns out he wasn't anywhere near the epicenter. He was at a hotel at the time, having a little vacay, I guess. He was fine. He had to come out and say, I'm fine. And then, now, in just like the last less than a couple of weeks, we have the whole story. Thomas Markle Jr. has to rush his father to the hospital because first his leg turned blue, then his foot turned black, and, you know, instantaneous necrosis, and he had to go to the hospital immediately. Thomas talks about being in the back of the ambulance, and then there's all these articles put out by none other than Carolyn Graham, who we've heard from in the past and has been intimately intertwined with the Markle story from the beginning. Funny enough, she's a person whom Thomas Markle Sr. in the past has described as an irritant. She's interfering. She's, you know, the press and the paparazzi making his life a misery. But don't you know? Now, turns out, apparently, before he even told Thomas Markle Jr., whom he presumably supposed to be living with, and who supposedly came in the ambulance with him to the hospital, so might have been there when the doctor said something. No, apparently the first person Thomas told about the need for the amputation and all that was Carolyn Graham. All of a sudden her articles are appearing everywhere. Somebody whom he despised. It's funny how right from the beginning, all these people, Jeff Rayner, Carolyn Graham, Carl Larson, Marcus Anderson, they're all in the background. They all seem to pop up when needed somehow, you know. And this is an indication that there's a wider thing going on. You've got Samantha Markle, Thomas Markle Jr., and Thomas Markle Sr., and Carolyn Graham all discussing this event, his hospital intervention, amputation, not one of their stories match. Isn't that interesting? You put them all side by side, none of them match. So what's the real story? Well, in my previous video, the Mexico myth, and now this previous video about this topic, we talked about this. It's a distraction for sure. I'm not doubting that like an 80-year-old man has health concerns. But I mean, like, what the hell is he even doing in the Philippines in the first place? We've talked about this. I've talked about this several times. He didn't go there for the health concerns. He claimed in an interview that things were just so bad with the press hounding him, and everything just got too much for him in his delicate health that he had to flee across the world. Because, you know, poor indigent old man, and he couldn't afford to live in Mexico and had to go to Cebu where his apartment's only $500 a month, and just, we bleed with sympathy for the man, right? No. It's not why he left. It's not why he left at all. I have a theory, and if you've been following me at all, you know how this all intertwines. You know how I think everybody was brought in. Megan, her father, many, many years ago. This has been something in the making for a while. As these kind of things, when they come to surface, we discover that it's wider and deeper than you'd ever imagine. True rabbit hole. Yeah. Now, I think, in my opinion, if I'm right about my theory about what's really going on, is that Cebu in the Philippines was Thomas Markles Sr.'s quid pro quo. As in, yeah, I'll play along, but I want to be tucked away somewhere. I want to be tucked away. Fun fact about the Philippines, about Indonesia. Seems it runs on the same fuel Hollywood does, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So we wonder why Thomas chose the Philippines. Well, there you go. Yeah, this whole story. First of all, between the articles and the kids and everybody talking, nobody's story matches up about when he went to the hospital, when the surgery was, who was told first, what's really going on. And I looked at pictures of the hospital, okay? Funny enough, and I mentioned this in that video, every picture of every room, and I showed you pictures of all the rooms. None of them have printed sheets, none of them. They have a stamped logo of the hospital, UC Med, University of Cebu Medical Center, stamped on the pillowcases and the sheets. There's no printed sheets, they're white sheets. In every single picture, so that makes you kind of, you know, can you fake a hospital room thing? Remember Megan's twerking video, baby mama holding that, you know, pillow in front of her, pointed thing that she was not pregnant, but it's supposed to be a twerking pregnant, she's in labor video. That was faked. That was faked. Interestingly enough, we hear from Thomas Markle, and boy, oh boy, considering he's in the Philippines and his dad's in the hospital and might not make it, he's sure spending a hell of a lot of time doing interviews and shows, and YouTube's, holy moly, he's a busy guy. Busy guy. He claims his father came through the surgery, had his left leg amputated at the knee, and that he's very doped up, as one would be after a surgery like that, right? And of course, all that infection that caused the necrosis, so he's on tons of medication, the guy would be just out of it. Somehow we've got a new picture of him post-surgery, thumbs up and a smile. There doesn't seem to be one IV in either one of his arms. No medication, no pain coursing through. Everything, heck, he looks fine. And he got a full shave to boot. New image for the man. Wow. Took 10 years off him. Can you imagine? And all that pain and here serious surgery, and well, as long as I'm laid up, I might as well get a shave, I guess, right? Look at every picture of Thomas Markle going back 40 years. He's never not had that scruffy beard and mustache. Get that? Never not have. So he decides, at 80 years old, while he's in the hospital facing multiple amputation surgeries, it's time for a makeover. Why not? Give me a break. Let's look at this picture a little closely. He's out of ICU, they say, and he's in his room. Thumbs up by, I guess that's supposed to be a doctor. He's in a different room now, but look at this. Look at this, his bed's against the wall. And isn't that his left leg that's against the wall, the one that was amputated? You would think, for convenience sake, if nothing else, that his left leg, where the surgery took place, where nurses and doctors are going to have to check continuously, wouldn't be against a wall, meaning they have to pull his bed out and around to get to the injury site. No, they'd have his bed configured in a way where the wound was accessible to the treating doctors and nurses. They're not going to lean over him and try to do whatever they have to do. No. So the picture's all wrong. Am I saying it's a lie? No. Am I saying Thomas Markle doesn't have any health concerns? No. An 80-year-old man, I'm sure he does. But just like the pregnancies and the miscarriage and, the miscarriage and the heart attacks and the hospital stays and the fake stroke and one after another, there's nothing you can believe. There's nothing you can believe in this story. What has it accomplished? Well, on the back of a couple of bad TV appearances and articles, on the back of a failed Netflix series and bad press and a bad launch and her shitty products, it is keeping her name in the papers. Now, it is true. People are saying, horrible Megan, why hasn't she contacted him? And then we get the same thing. We get, her office sent an email. Megan's tried to call. Oh, that email hasn't been used in 5 years. I could probably get the front desk at Cebu Hospital in 6 minutes if I tried to confirm if he was even there, right? All the friggin' Dan Wooten ladies, everybody's got his phone number. And we know Megan has, if not herself, she has her people follow all the media because she always reacts. It wouldn't take any of them 6 minutes to find out how to get a hold of Thomas Markle and to see if this was, even if she said, I don't believe it. Sure, even if all she wanted to do was confirm, right? You could. I could. I'm not spending the money. But, anybody could find out, right? And those like Dan Wooten and all these people that are Thomas supporters, but then there you go again. That's perfect. Right now, that's perfect to push the narrative and heartless Megan before Christmas, and you see articles in the paper, Thomas Markle saying things like, "Oh, talk to me before I die," and we heard the same thing. Every health concern, every fabricated health concern. I need to talk to Megan before I die. I need to see my grandchildren before I die. It's a narrative you're being fed. Nothing you're seeing is real. All of these people are playing a part in a wider thing that, in my estimation, I don't think Samantha Markle realizes why she's doing what she's doing. They're told one thing. They're told one bit of the operation is like needs to know basis kind of thing. If I'm right, and there is a wider operation, and these people have been brought in to perform a role, they're going to be told only what they need to be told. And their personalities and the volatility of this family plays right into it. Because what better distraction can you have? It's worked all these years. It's worked all these years. So, and I'm not saying I have all the answers. I'm sure Thomas Markle does have health concerns. Did he have a leg amputated? Maybe. But we've seen every single picture of that family has been fabricated, going back 40 years. So, we've seen hospital video that is not truly depicting what they're portraying, trying to portray. She's dancing, she's in labor. No, she was never pregnant. This is all I'm saying, is you have to really look at things. You have to see it. You look at the photograph. You can believe your eyes, but you have to actually look at it. Most of what we do is things cross our path like this, and we just kind of, okay, Thomas Markle and the husband, we don't stop and look. But one thing this whole operation has done is that there's been so many fumbles that there's been obvious, glaring mistakes made that we've been able to pick up on, and then we can go, oh, wait a minute, something's not right here. So anything that comes out of these people's mouth, any pictures we see and stories we read, we now have that little spidey sense to be able to discern. We now have a built-in bullshit meter, and man, oh man, You mention the Markle name and it goes off like wildfire. So what's really going on? It's a distraction. It's a distraction. Something has happened. I told you Thomas Markle going to the Philippines was because his role in the situation was winding down. And that was his quid pro quo. Set me up out of the line of sight of everybody, right? Well, for some reason, and I think it's pure hubris, and it's part of the reason that they were, I think, brought in to begin with. You know, the redneck gene runs through them all. And I think that little taste of publicity, that little taste of notoriety and being in the public eye is like when, you know, when an animal gets a taste of blood, right? It's like that. They can't resist it. And, well, Hollywood. So I couldn't have picked a better description. But anyway, yeah. They're going to be brought in now and again to provide distractions. Distractions from wider things going on with Harry and Meghan and the royal family directly. Because they never want you to know exactly what's going on. Just like the royal family doesn't want you to know what's going on. So we have to really look at these things closely. I really do believe that the whole Markle clan was brought in and brought up and groomed for a purpose years ago that's playing out now. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but for a couple of years now, more than a couple of years and a lot recently, go look at my videos. I pulled open the deception, Thomas Markle, and all of that. So they've all been lying for almost a decade. Think he's telling the truth now? Just saying. Hope you enjoyed this. Like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.